Hey, welcome everybody. This is the CSRN Video Minutes and Podcast. We do this every Tuesday, 6 o'clock. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him, and I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Jabril Bey and Mike Leonardi. And it's awesome to. We come to you every week. We talk about some of the things that we're doing in the activist community, in the protest community, speaking out against injustice, and really trying to bring things to light that maybe others might find it, somewhat difficult. So what we're going to do, Jordan, we're going to just go ahead and kick it off. One of the things that we do. Oh, also, what am I wearing? All right, what am I wearing? What am I wearing? Today I have on a maroon shirt. I've got my black gaither on, and I keep it like that, except when I'm talking because it's kind of muffled. Oh, let me grab my phone. All right. How about that? It had to be my phone, not Jody's phone. He's on his phone all of the time. Why didn't his phone ring? All right. Why is it just my phone? So today I have on my maroon shirt. I got on the black hat, black gaither. I got my glasses from Optigo, from Twix in Between. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting and protecting and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And everybody that joins us, please put something in the chat. Put a black fist, put a heart, put a what's up. We're really glad to have everybody here with us. Having said that, and I think I covered everything, so maybe I can get my phone. All right, get my phone. So I think I covered everything. Jody, if you can introduce yourself, maybe describe what you got on. All right, that's something. You should see this live. All right, but if you could describe yourself and maybe start with our mission statement.
I held it in that whole time.
Oh man! All right, but we're back. We're back, and we're
okay. What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, Child of the System, treasurer of CSRN, and every week, as you guys can kind of see the show evolve, we get a little more podcast cues and stuff like that. But watch to talk about put a fist up in the chat and other stuff, but. My gender pronouns are him, he, and we. I am a cinnamon-toned, brown-skinned bear of a man that is covered in crystals, in tattoos, piercings, clothing that is locally sourced for my community. Right now, I'm wearing a shirt called Live a Bomb Life. Shout out to you, Jared Boone Frazier. And that's pretty much who I am. So this is our mission statement. And again, I thank everybody for watching or commenting or showing up. A lot of people show up to some things, but you guys have been here for almost 7 years watching us evolve and grow and drop phones.
Okay, all right. See, we're supposed to be about togetherness, covering each other's mistakes and peace and
but see, that's okay, because we're gonna get into another section when we talk about people not being able to handle jokes and stuff. So this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events to help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice equally applied, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right, thanks, Jody. And it is Women's History Month, and here's a little tidbit regarding women's history. And yes, I am going off the script, all right, just in case you didn't know. About our mission statement, Sister Yvette Muhammad had assisted us way back in 2014 when we were just starting as a protest group, and we needed something that everybody could stand behind, and it couldn't be anything that just kind of pigeonholes what we do. So shout out to you, Sister Yvette, for assisting and putting together the CSRN mission statement. What I'm going to do right now is get started with the our guiding principles, and these came about during the Movement for Black Lives 2015. This was a conference where myself, Julian, Jody participated in this, and this was a paradigm shifting conference, which made me believe that sometimes, if not most, we become, Jody, our worst enemies in the struggle. And these are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom of elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Look, those are our guiding principles, and I'm really thankful that we were able to come up with a way to make this personal for Toledo.
Yep.
And really big ups to the Movement for Black Lives for being able to come up with the term all Black Lives Matter. We used Black Lives Matter before, Before that, Jody, it was hands up, don't shoot. And things evolved. And All Black Lives Matter just brought all Black lives into the tent. And I think that sometimes whenever we protest or call out injustice, it's usually directed toward Christian men, straight only, and everybody else need not apply. That's women, that's everyone else. So All Black Lives Matter has really changed the way that we organize. It changed the way that we do things, and also it's built up our talent, our talent pool, and our skill set too. So, having said that, listen, we want to come back with Ruth. Am I right? We're going to come back with Ruth. Yesterday was International Women's Day. This is Women's History Month. For those that say, well, I don't need a month or a day. Okay, that's fine, but we celebrate your birthday every year, but we can celebrate and appreciate you all year round. So this is just our time to give ups to the women who are really the ones that make stuff happen. We wouldn't be born, am I right? Hey, that would be hard to do. All right. So Ruth, hey, listen, stay with us. We're gonna take a short break. Come right back. CSRN Video Minutes, the weekly podcast.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we're back. We really came back after 30 seconds. Oh, man, okay, we're on it. Hey, listen, we are back. CSRN Video Minutes, the weekly podcast. And we have with us the lead administrative core, our sister. They call her Activist Babe. They make us call her Miss Leonard. How the hell does that happen? All right. All right. Yeah, not enough, Jody. Not enough. Hey, Ruth, if you could introduce yourself. What are you wearing? What are those? And hey, and what's going on with you? All right.
Wow.
Okay.
No Burger King yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruth Leonard. I am, as Brother Washington stated, the administrative lead for CSRN. I'm actually wearing one of my favorite shirts today. It is a green shirt that says "Set It Off," but instead of the iconic cast from, I believe it was a 1998 film, we have Angela Davis, Kathleen Cleaver, Elaine Brown, and Asada Shakur. If you ever have a chance to do some research on them, or even if you're just interested in them because it's Women's History Month, make sure you start with them. They are some of the change agents and guiding forces behind the Black Lives Matter movement as we know it today. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate Women's History Month, as well as I believe yesterday was International Women's History Day. So I'm all about celebrating Black women because as a Black woman, I know the importance of us to the movement. As Brother Washington stated, without Black women, there would be nothing, right? Like, come on, Black women are the foundation of everything that has made the ability to continue and go on possible. So if you know a Black woman, shout out a Black woman, buy her lunch, get her coffee, donate to CSRN. And so with that, I am going to bring Brother Washington and Jody back in so that we can keep things moving with our meeting for today.
All right. Thanks, Ruth. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about justice for George Floyd because we know that the trial is coming up and there's been talks of postponing it and then talks of keeping it going. And also there's people that are organizing right now to travel to Minneapolis. We're going to be discussing also some of the updates, whatever we can share from the St. John's update. And we're going to be talking about Breonna Taylor Day. We're looking forward to observing that. And there's something in Kwanzaa we call Kujishagalia. self-determination. That means that we can define ourselves and name ourselves. And if we want a day, if we want a holiday, we can just say, Ashe, being it is, and make that change and make it happen. Those who may not be on it, hey, that's all good, but we already know what it is. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, Ruth, was our St. John's update.
Okay.
I heard that many people, but that there was a discussion with some stakeholders, and whatever you think you can share, what happened and what are some of the things you think are moving forward with that?
So I do know that there were conversations that were held with alumni from St. John's. I know that there was supposed to be a parent meeting, but then the day got moved, and then they said it was one day and then it wasn't, and then it was supposed to be another day. So there's just a lot of confusion right now because there are so many moving parts to everything that's happening at St. John's. What I do want to say, and what I am very proud of, is the initiative that these young Black Kings are taking to make sure that they are at the forefront of all of these conversations. I think that there was an attempt by, I believe, the vice principal to reach out to any and everyone that he could possibly think of to reach out to. He did reach out to myself on behalf of CSRN, and I made it very clear that whatever conversation he had or wanted to have with me would be the same talking points as the young men, because there is nothing that I can say that should be given any more weight or any more importance than to what those young men have already explicitly stated they wanted. I also know that there are, I've been in contact with a couple of the parents who have children who are involved, and they're very excited just to know that there's someone out there who's speaking to them directly. And I know that there are other parents who have had other contacts. And so another thing that I'm really grateful for is involving the parents in these conversations as well. I think that it's very easy for administrators to try to make decisions and have solutions come up where they try to take advantage of young people who are stating what it is that they want or what it is that they need. And so just ensuring the parents that there is someone who has their back, that there is someone who is showing them support is also very important. So there's just a lot of moving parts for St. John's. What I think is hopefully going to happen within the next couple of weeks is all of the moving parts can kind of come together, and we can have a conversation that once again puts those young men at the forefront and allows them to articulate whatever it is that they want or need moving forward. And it has the support of community organizations. It has the support of the parents involved. It has the support of the community, because at the end of the day, all of this is worth nothing if you don't include the young men at the forefront. So right now it's just having multiple conversations, making sure that everyone knows what's going on, making sure that parents know when there are parent meetings, making sure that alumni know when there are alumni meetings, so that no one is being left out of the conversations.
Well, that's one of the things that I'm happy about, because this is a conversation, a discussion, the attempt of changing policies that was long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
And last week, what would you say to some of the people? Because on our way to last week's protest, there were people calling myself while I was with Jody, pleading for us not to expose the school and their racist policies toward our youth. What do you say when people try to tell you to please keep quiet, don't speak up for our youth? What are some of the things that you say when people try to make you turn down when you know we need to turn up?
No. It's as simple as that. I learned that no can be a complete sentence, because I've realized that when it's time for revolutionary action, you have two different types of people. You have the person who is ready and they are with the And they are saying, we are here to stand up for these people. We are here to make sure that everyone knows that we have, that we're showing support for them. And then you have those other people who are scared of changing the status quo. And the status quo is what got us to this point. The status quo is believing, and Brother Washington, I'm going to use one of your talking points. It's believing that you can make incremental changes. You can make decisions that have very little to do with the systemic structure of race in this world. You think that because you get rid of Pepe Le Pew, that all of a sudden now we're done with rape culture. No, because you have a conversation with a group of young men who are articulating their issues, that because you spoke with them and didn't make any changes, that we've done all that we can do. No, that's not how that works. So for anyone who's scared, if you're scared, say you're scared. But I need you to be scared and move out of the way, because fear can no longer be the driving force, because that's what got us to this point. It was a fear of upsetting the wrong person and letting that wrong person take out their frustration on you. Well, now we've gotten to the point where you have enough community organizations who are putting themselves on the line, especially for St. John's, for those young men, to say, if you want to take out your frustration, your anger, the fact that you can't be openly racist anymore, or the fact that you can't shut these students down anymore, if you want to take out that anger, take it out on us. Take it out on the adults, because we have their backs. And we're not going to back down from supporting them for what's just their rights, right? As students. And I know that there's a lot of laws and bylaws and not curriculum, but not the student surveys, but basically how the school is able to run, especially with it being a school that's a part of the Catholic diocese, which has its own myriad of problems. We have to make sure that these young men know that they are not coming up and they are not showing up to a group of people who are afraid for them. They're showing up with people who support them. They're showing up with people who want them to be successful, who want them to know that if they go out on a limb, that there's somebody that's going to be there for them. And that can't happen if you're constantly afraid of consequences and repercussions. We're done being afraid. It's over. Right. It's 2021. Beautiful.
Right, and I think that's the if anybody that's watching this is 60 years or older, well, I still want you to keep your sound on. One of the things that older people were trained to do was to go home based on one thing that was said by our former slave masters and their children. We would take that on face value. We would never, and I'm saying we because I'm a part of that group, and I remember being a part of meetings and someone would come out and say, hey, listen, guys, we're working on it. And I would see a sea of men stand up and walk out as if things were actually going to change. And these are real stories that a lot of people saw me a part of those meetings just to see who I'm dealing with. And just waiting for the time that there will be more fearless people that are willing to stand up. And that's what we have now. You've got people that can check their policies and know their policies better than they do. So we're not just taking things on face value anymore. We're asking a follow-up question, and we got another follow-up question after that. We want you to feel that feeling of being uncomfortable, all right, until we get what we want. So the questions are going to keep coming, all right? We're going to continue being fearless. We're going to be continue being excellent and Black. I was going to say at the same damn time, but we can't be quoting Gucci Mane and Future on our podcast. All right. Okay. All right, Jody. Yeah, all right. Right. So my next question to you, and I want to do this, and then there's something else I wanted to say about International Women's Day and Women's History Month. Recently, there's been a lot of discussion about the city of Toledo, their citizen review, and how that plays with, I think, the recent brother that got the job of being the gun violence mediator. Man, Ruth, I thought that it was just complicated when they had 300 people. I thought it was complicated when they had a 300 person committee. Now they've thrown some other things in there. Ruth, what can we expect to see out of the? Okay, don't look at us like that, like we about to get it all the smoke. But what can we expect? That's better. That kind of hurt my heart when you looked at us like that. What can we expect to see from the city of Toledo? What can we see from us as rank and file citizens working hand in hand with the police, wink, wink, working hand in hand with the city of Toledo? How much hope should we have? Because, hey, some of us are about to chart our own course with this, but we want to give them a few more goals at this. What should we expect?
You want the truth?
Well,
Let me put it to you like this, okay? So I have been a part of all of these initiatives and all these meetings and all these conversations, and I know with the mayor's group, it's now broken into subcommittees and other committees, and now we have meetings on top of meetings, and we have. No, I'm about to go to Jamel's. Sorry. We have all of these different committees, but honestly, it's going nowhere. And I hate to say that because it's. I know what the potential of something this big is, right? I know that it had potential to be something big that could change the city, but I also know that committees of fewer people have changed the city. I know that Nick Comimes, for prime example, he was able to bring forward legislation, and I was thankful to be a part of the drafting of that legislation so that officers have to give identification whenever they see or whenever they interact with citizens. But now we have the issue of officers not giving identification when they see citizens, and there seems to be no repercussion for that, right? And that's a problem. But now we have this other committee of people who are trying to figure out how are we going to do the budget and the civilian review board and the policies and the training. And it's conversations for conversation's sake is what it feels like. And I can only be honest about how I'm interpreting it. Because this group came together. I think it was initially thought of back in May, and here we are a year later, and I understand COVID, I understand precautions, I understand all of that, but there still hasn't been any real progress. It's been meetings for meeting's sake. It's been conversations for conversation's sake. It's been talking in circles, and every person who you talk to isn't the right person who can give you the answer, but they'll be at the next meeting. But then we get to that next meeting and that person who was supposed to have the answers isn't there. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like,
sounds like America.
It's America. So I think it's really disheartening. Because I know that there are people who are in these committees who want to do the right thing, who want to change the culture, who want to hold people accountable, who should be held accountable. But it's still it's the red tape. It's that person isn't here and they're not available, and when they are available, they don't have the answers that we're supposed to look for or that we need. And like it's going in circles at this point. And so now it's March. So we're a couple of weeks away from it being a year since this initial committee was put in place, and nothing. So in regards to the Civilian Review Board, I think we've gotten to a point now where new legislation is needed. We're figuring out if it's going to be something that requires a petition to be put on the ballot. We're deciding what exactly is the next step, because obviously working within the system isn't working. And Sabrina, you said it sounds like they're giving us the runaround. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like. I mean, that's right. What it is. Like, you can't think anything other than what it is when you constantly look at it and you say, this seems like a setup. And every time you go to prove that it's not a setup, they prove it's a setup.
Right. And, one of the things I always want to remind us, maybe it was 2 years ago, there was a police involved shooting on, I think it was LaGrange and Hudson or LaGrange and Oakland. And it looked as if the city of Toledo brought a lot of the community leaders together. I wasn't one of them, to tell us that the police are just doing their job. And one of the things that we did, we looked at other cities and we saw how other cities and community organizations took it upon themselves to put together their own citizen review board, and that you can, along with our attorney Terry Lodge, you can charge police officers. You can. Now, some may say, well, what's the grand jury going to do? Well, you know what? We haven't got that far yet. So what we did draft was the Community Solidarity Police Accountability Review Council, or CSPARC. And one of the things that we learned from Justice Zorels is that at one point, we're going to lose confidence. So we're giving them, Ruth, an opportunity to work out all of their stuff. However, at one point, we're going to have to do something for ourselves. So either they'll work it out, and I understand how older people meet to meet. I understand how they meet to meet and break into committee and have subcommittees, and what that does to young people that have a spark, that have that fire, it wears you out after a while of you seeing people just talking and nothing happens. And I've seen it kill the spirit of so many young brothers. That's why I attended a lot of those meetings, just to tell some brilliant brothers, hey, you don't need to be here. Hey, get out of here. Hey, this is not the place to be. And some of us as older people, we perfected the art of meeting to meet and subcommitteeing just to wear you down. So thank you for reporting on that. I don't know if we're close to break time, but when we come back, I do want to give a shout out to the women in my life, all right, that make Brother Washington. So, hey, look. Hey, yep, I have not cried. I'm like, you better not cry, all right? But I probably will.
Say that to the end.
Hey, all right. So, hey, look, come on back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. Come on back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Oh, that's a brand?
Yes.
Oh, hey, there's somebody in your camera. Hey, who's this?
This is the important woman in my life. This is my mommy.
What?
Hello. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Mama? Oh, man.
I'm fine. I hear you all doing the work.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for having such a wonderful daughter. Such a wonderful daughter. Yes. People don't really understand the secret ingredients that keep movements alive. And whoever that secret ingredient is, they had a mother. All right. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
All right.
the good work. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, it's that awesome background, Ruth. I've been noticing that. You've been
All
switching
right.
up the backgrounds.
Graduation.
Oh, yeah, on the screen too. Well, yeah, that background in real life, but also on the screen, for podcast people.
Yes, I made it.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, Jody. Okay, I was just gonna say her mom took my job of setting stuff up. All right, now, oh man, I'm losing all the way around.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, look, before we bring in Jody for our community shout outs and solutions, I just wanted to just run down some of the women in my life. Yes, I'm Brother Washington, he, him, but I wouldn't be Brother Washington, he, him, without the dynamic women in my life that keeps me grounded, that keeps me balanced, that tells me to pull back, to tell me to press on. And the first woman in my life that I really want to shout out is my wife, Sister Yvette Muhammad on Facebook. Yvette Muha. Don't know why she don't use her whole name. Use your whole government name. You already know who you are. All right. But anyway, all right. I'm sorry, Yvette. All right. I'll be have to go to the Wilders tonight, but that's okay. Sister Yvette, who for the last 30 years, and we'll be married 30 years, so I got the good part of that one right there. And I know she catching the blues with me, but thank you, Sister Yvette, for being there. The next is my mother. My mother's still alive. She lives in Columbus. She stays with my older brother. And everything that you hear me talking about, everything that you see me standing for, my mom instilled that in me. However, it took a long time for it to catch in and latch on. So thanks, Mom. The third woman I want to honor is Mother Khadijah Farrakhan. That's the wife of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And even though you might hear about Minister Farrakhan, you might have seen the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak and talk, but there are some dynamic women behind us. Without them, we wouldn't be that, and sometimes you may not know 75% of the things that you hear me saying are the things that my wife has helped guide me so that I could be a bit more balanced. My next big shout out is for the lead administrative core, Ruth Leonard, who puts up with so much when it comes to social justice, when it comes to political action, when it comes to meeting and greeting and shaking hands and glad handing and all of that, all right, and getting their masters at the same time. I mean, how does that even happen? All right, I could barely get my GED taking the whole summer off. But anyway, that's you just said there. Damn, now they know. All right, hell, y'all knew anyway. But anyway, and the next is my mentor, Sister Twyla Page, who I call Mother Emeritus. I met her in 1992 at a Kwanzaa program. I had no idea that she was going to form the African American Parents Association right after the Million Man March. And it's Sister Twyla that's one of my mentors here in Toledo that make me who I am. And the rest of the sisters I want to mention are all of the recipients of the Black Lives Matter Award, the virtual 2021, and that's for Petronella, that's for Sonia, for Brittany, Queen Cookie. That's a funny lady, and I would never challenge her to a roast. I would never, ever, Queen Cookie, if you're watching, I am not worthy. I am not worthy. She will light me up, all right? And I know that. Dr. Hope Bland, who finally took my call. It's almost as if I had to fill out a job application, Doc, just so you take my call, all right? I almost had to call. What's that called when you call people and you don't want to see your caller ID?
They don't use that no more. What was that? Not the 411.
Like star 67?
Yeah.
I almost had to star 67 her just so she pick up. Come on, Dr. Hope.
Be nice.
And lastly, you know what? She will never support us again. I'm just kidding, Dr. Hope. I'm sorry. You told me not to read that. But and the CEO of the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union, our sister Suzette Cowell. So, of course, there are many, many other sisters in our community that make it happen. But that would stretch this video podcast for more than 17 hours. All right, just to do the preface and prelude. But I just wanted to shout out our sisters for Women's History Month, and we love you. And one of the things that we say in the Nation of Islam is that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. If you teach a man, you teach an individual. If you teach a woman, you teach a nation. The woman has always been the first doctor, the first teacher, the first therapist, the first everything, the mother of civilization, queen of the planet Earth. All right. And we say that were it not for God, the only thing worth worshiping would be that woman. That's the door that we come in, and our mom used to always tell us, I brought you in this world, and I can what? Take you out, all right? Because a lot of them conceal carry now. So, hey, don't you play, all right? Acting a daggone fool out here, all right? So, I wanted to give that shout out, and I wanted to bring it to Jody to see what Jody has to say regarding community shout outs, community solutions. He has a dream box that he's working on. He's got several different companies. You see that he identifies as he, him, they, we, us, y'all. Jody, all right. I added a couple in there. Jody, what's going on?
Not coming to America too.
All right. I added a couple in there. Hey, what's going on with you, and what can we look forward to seeing in the community?
Me, I'm good. Like, I don't know. I'm still weird in the fact that, yep, I do a lot. I run a lot of offices in companies and stuff, but I don't use this as a platform to try and promote unless it deals directly with this stuff, which involves a lot of my art. But yeah, it's just been a very interesting week. World has opened up. Texas and some of the South don't have to wear masks no more, numbers and stuff like that. But still a lot of people doing a lot of good work. There are events coming up because, again, it's getting warm outside. So everybody's planning to have vendor events or some type of social connection with each other because we've been cooped up in the house again and all this stuff. Again, restrictions are coming down and it looks promising. A lot of organizations, because of this, have like stepped up their game. So just shout out to them in general because, again, it's a lot to keep up with since most of the stuff is online. And I love that because it's giving people a space. Other because I feel like a person that never even touched the stage or shy or something like that. So now we created this boat of you get to see it as social media changes to where, yes, we're incorporating podcast stuff into our show. And we may never meet like we did before, because even then we may still have to, sign a waiver or something because we want to keep this going because it's an easier way to connect to a lot of people than 20 people sitting around the table. And again, with the whole stall tactics that happen with meetings and stuff. But yeah, shout out to all of the organizations, the Art Commission, the entrepreneurs, the people that have been keeping all of this going. And like the politicians that are still fighting over how much can you survive on nothing and still vote for me. That's honestly what it is. It's there's things going on. So we got June coming up. Right. Shout out to them just to have it on the video and let them know last year we had a Juneteenth celebration probably like no other we've had before. Basically taking over Walbridge Park and that organization we were helping because another thing that a lot of people forget, yes, we've been doing this for 7 years, but where is that? Solidarity. We help. We're not in control of anything. We're not the gatekeepers. If you ask us to show up somewhere, that is great. but we're not just going to sit up there and take the mic from you and end your donations. So, but yeah, we think to help a lot of people. I know there's some stuff going on with protests. Of course, we got the Breonna Taylor thing going on and the George Floyd thing going on. So it's kind of shifting focuses, but yeah, I know this sounds weird to me giving shout outs to a whole bunch of people. But again, I think by now they know who they are. We celebrated a lot of people with the box. And we'll continue when we see, stuff going out there. I do want to take it to one area that's personal to the city. Toledo's small. When you begin to travel, you figure that out, but it is home. You some of the stuff that goes on here is kind of like shocking. You get called, oh, we got so many deaths and murders and stuff, but you go to a bigger city and there's more, but there's less people. But I do want to specifically send my condolences to Dee Dee Porter's family and to the person that murdered him in cold blood. There's special places for you. And you know who you are. We still haven't found them. But again, for all the people that say, oh, you don't discuss crimes in your community, because mostly they never get found because it's not even about snitching. It's just about, I don't know. There's nobody there for accountability. In a week or so, we'll go back to, again, it's my words, not the organizations, but popping bottles, making music videos, arguing about the next Versus battle or the next Coming to America movie, which was great. I want to say that. Me and Eddie Murphy share a birthday, so regardless of what everybody thinks, life is something you can't duplicate every day. But if you stay focused on something, instead of just being mad for one moment, having a march, having a rally, and not taking the opportunity to see what you could be doing while you were doing that. You put up a bottle, you put up whatever addiction you have to come to this march. Try it for a day, try it for a month. And yes, it gets daunting being in meetings for 6 to 7 hours a day, listening to now screams versus fundraisers, which wasn't much better because you could still feel the creepy, hear some nice food, and listen to us talk, make sure you put the collection plate. But yeah, with that stuff and PC culture and trying to Pepe Le Pew and all the stuff that I grew up with that didn't turn me into a bad person. But try just to listen before you react to things. Thank you to all the organizations that are doing that and don't need publicity or something. We got the Junction 419 Day coming up. It's not going to be on 419, but we'll be talking about that later on through the month. So shout out to Indo God's Gang up there, Party Rockers at the spot and stuff like that. But again, as my little shout outs are going to stop because there's like a pool of stuff that I haven't said and we don't need that yet.
Okay, but I thought we did need. Look, there's a brother. I know him on Facebook as Endo, the game guy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is definitely in the future where you just talk about people as their Facebook names. All right.
Well, that is true too. Like, I'm sorry, I will come up to you and talk to you as your social media handle for life.
Yeah,
it gets difficult. Stop changing that.
Right, but okay, I don't think Endo changed his name, but hey, don't have him coming at me, all right? But I went up to a store. I saw DeMarco Peacock today posted something the same way brother had posted about Daly's store and last
awesome thing. Shout out to the city for that.
Brother Gilroy had posted about Daily Store and how we should take a day out to support Daily Store, and I supported that store. I also supported a couple other stores, and you know what I did? I just went into the store. I said, hey, look, here's $20. The next few people that come in get their stuff for free. Yep. All right, and I'm out. All right, make it good for somebody. Mm-hmm. All right, make it good for somebody. And I went to Party Rockers today, which is located in the Dort Collingwood Plaza, right next to China King. You know where the spot is, but right next to China King. Go in there and buy something. You might say, well, I don't need a DVD. Buy a DVD.
Book some studio time.
Book some studio time.
Have an event.
Get a T-shirt. Most times we complain when we see black men and women doing a negative. This brother took a chance. He's paying rent.
Yeah, in a very difficult spot.
In a very difficult spot, but dealing with black people, any spot's difficult. But come on, go out. Hey, come on. But go out, support him, Indoor the Game Guy, Party Rockers Incorporated, right there, 529 Door Street at the Collingwood Plaza. He didn't pay me to say this time, but I'm hopefully the next time around, hey, at least I get a free oil or a t-shirt. But no, support that brother. He is trying to make it happen. I think that Ruth. Oh,
I got one more thing.
Andy's okay. All right, Andy's organizing the Toledo Day, which is I think April 24th.
Yeah, it's not going to be on 419 Day from what I've seen.
Right.
But there's a reason again for everything.
Hey, look.
I love to participate in this vendor, maybe us.
Anytime we can come together, spend some money with each other in broad daylight. Come on, people, come on. We'll never have that perfect time. That's not happening. But if somebody's willing to put their name out there and do something positive for the community, and you have a lot of people that are championing that and sharing that. I shared this post today, so if you don't know about it, go to my page, share it. At least I'll have at least a couple more likes on my page. My page gets really dry, and I know who you are. I see you out there, Sabrina, not liking my stuff. I see you, Anika. I see you, Joe. I'm looking at your names right here. Yeah, now I'm feeling some type of way. All right, maybe I don't post good stuff, but it don't matter. Hey, listen. Let's bring Ruth back in. I see, and then we'll take it back to you. But I had to reel it in because I got kind of upset for a little minute, for a minute.
See, PC, just let it go.
All right. So I'm going to throw it out because there is a lot of changes taking place in Toledo right now, directly under our noses. And it's taking place by people who are not from this city. So I just want to make sure that as much as we are supporting the Black businesses within our community, that we are just as aware of the other businesses that have potential to come into our communities. So there is a shopping plaza on, I believe, the Bancroft Shopping Plaza. I think
you did see
those red, black, and white buildings. So they are renaming it. It's going through a rebranding right now as the Toledo Walls Plaza. I got a couple issues. Number one, when they have the phone number for who you call to see if you can lease a building, it's connected to an Albany business, a business out of Albany, New York. So that lets me know for sure that we now have out-of-state contractors coming in trying to build up the city. But the second thing that I think is just as important is getting in on the ground level as the Black community, I think would be really, really, really strategic. And I'm just saying this out loud because I've heard a lot of people talk about wanting to put businesses in that shopping center and not being able to figure out logistically and financially how to do it. So now is the time for us to bring all of these different great organizations and great businesses together, because what I don't want to happen is in 10 or 15 years, there's an opportunity to buy this property from whatever this business is out of Albany, New York. And we are once again scrambling to put together our nickels and dimes, right? So right now, I think, and this is just me talking as a member of the community who doesn't have a business of my own, but I've seen how bigger businesses come in, buy up the property, gentrify the neighborhood, and then push everybody out, right? Because as far as I know, if I'm thinking of the correct location, this is a space that they are looking to build out even more, but it's also surrounded by the projects. Yes. And if anyone knows anything about gentrification and projects, then suddenly, once Toledo Walls Plaza gets big and bad and making all of this money, now all of a sudden those projects, you're not going to be able to afford them anymore. And also, if I can remember, this is the same space is, where Chris McBrayer was holding his the young men's, not, it wasn't training, but like the young men's
across
day.
the street. Yeah.
So there are opportunities, and it's happening right in front of us. And so I'm already seeing conversations happen about this looks, smells, sounds, feels, tastes like gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to happen directly under our noses, we cannot turn a blind eye to this. And so I know one of the things that we talk about, or one of the things that I've been thinking about just in general, is how politicians have been misusing Fred Hampton's quote, right? Where they say things like, you can't fight, what is it? Like, you can't fight racism with something, you got to fight it with something else. There's one part where it says you don't fight capitalism with Black capitalism. You fight it with basically mutual aid. So I want to make sure, and trust me, I am butchering this quote, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the same way that we have those mutual aid societies that have taken over Facebook, that I am so happy I can be a part of in any way possible, we need to make sure that when there are spaces available for leasing, that we're making sure that it's our businesses that are going in there, right? We already have a New York company that has come in to purchase that property because we as a community couldn't get it together in a fast way in order to like make it better. But now we have another opportunity. So I just don't want to miss out on our chance to have better city.
Yeah, and I'm gonna piggyback on that. I grew up over there. I played in that lot when it was Provo's, before IGA, Cast Off Radio, where I learned to have my wonderful voice and radio personality, was in that plaza. And it has been brought up last year. Shout out to Blair and Chris McBrayer and everybody that was doing stuff last summer. We brought this on several community forums. Silence. This is always what happens. This is what we have to pay attention to. Now Trump's out of office, and now we got Biden and all that other stuff. We really haven't said nothing but take some shots. We need to do something now. We got stimuluses. You're trying to invest in stocks. Some people did, what was it, GameStop and stuff. Start doing it now, because again, it's simply that. And they said it in the movie too, and people didn't like that, about what happened to New York, which I was at last year. Well, when y'all, and the same thing I learned from the Heidelberg Project when I was in Detroit. When y'all had it, y'all didn't like it. So when you grew up, you moved away, talked about your city like trash. Now guess who has it? The people you were saying don't do nothing for your community. They do the pro mafia, which is good and bad, but they buy it up and now you can't get it back. That's your generation, that's your history, that's your all of that gone. How you gonna buy land if it's owned by somebody else who didn't see it as valuable because you lived there before? But now you moved away. Guess what? We found some oil. You just didn't dig far enough. Yeah.
All right. Hey, look, Ruth, I don't know what to say behind that. All I know is we speak the truth. All right. We speak the truth. And yes, last summer there was some people talking about how much is that property? Can we buy it? If we don't buy it, somebody else will. And when somebody else buys it, I'll drive by it every day and I can be held accountable. You know, I'm not poor. There's other people that aren't poor. We couldn't
pull money
we
together
couldn't
to buy movie
yeah.
tickets,
So
theaters, shoes.
so yeah. So if it does happen, I'm willing to take part of that L because I'm a part of the older people that know better. But if we can't bring ourselves together to make a difference in our community, then why should we expect anybody else? So shout out to Victor Coleman Jr. that keeps talking about economic justice. Shout out to Rob Pasker that keeps talking about, hey, look, y'all got to get out here and get it. So thank you, Ruth. Hey, what are we doing now? Do we take a short break, come back, and wrap up? All right, so listen, Come back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. Come right back. All right, we are back. Hey, Ruth, where did we find that Be Right Back music? I don't even know what to call it. Where did we find the CSRN Be Right Back music, and who made that and allowed us to use it?
So that was made by the group The Beats, and you can actually find it on SoundCloud. I believe it is a part of their mixtape. I want to say it's From the Mud. I can find it though.
Okay, all right. And also before we wrap up and bring in 5 minutes of heat, man, I almost forgot what I was gonna say, but it's coming back. Can people find us on Spotify now?
Yes, we now have our podcast episodes are released. Our video meeting minutes are released as podcast episodes now. If you just simply go to Spotify and you type in CSRN video meeting, you can find all of the past episodes of our meetings.
All right. And look, if anyone wanted to donate or help us out or purchase some of our swag, what would they be able to? Oh, it's going. Oh, okay.
So if you would like to support CSRN, if you believe that we are doing a good job, if you believe that we could do better, if you believe that we just need more money, you can send it to us through Cash App, and our cash tag is CSRN419, or you can go to paypal.me/CSRN419. If you are interested in any of the swag that CSRN has, which we have, what do we have, Jody?
We have signs, shirts, wristbands, buttons, coffee, not coffee mugs, tumblers,
water bottles. Aren't they water bottles?
Tumblers, yes. Water bottles.
Since when did you get so polite?
Oh my God. Okay.
When did black people start saying tumblers? What the? All right.
We get from the queue and all the other stuff. We might as well.
Oh my God.
But yeah, shirts, wristbands, tumblers, buttons, stickers, keychains, artwork. Because my artwork that comes from Ink Truth that's related to the struggle for the movement, you can purchase prints and everything. I'm trying to think, what else? Yeah.
Go to CSRNToledo.com and click on the shop button, and you can see all of the awesome stuff that we have for sale. And then once again, if you would like to donate to the organization, you can use any of the ways that have been scrolling on your screen for this entire video meeting.
All right, I've got one more question for you. I've heard rumors, all right, that we're working on a way that people can join us to help volunteer in the community.
Yes.
That was just something I heard. I heard around the CSRN office today where they were at the coffee, not at the coffee pot, but the water cooler. It's filled with Kool-Aid. We are black. Just letting you know. I'm sorry, Jody. I'm sorry, but anyway. You know,
great.
Okay. Now that just sounds racist.
First of all, it was red.
All right, and red is a flavor. All right, just want you to know that. But I have, we're just joking about.
Yeah.
No, not the Kool-Aid, but we're just joking that we're just standing around the office. We're working every day. All right. Yes, we are. We're working every day. We're working every day. But I heard around the office that CSRN is working on a way that people can join and volunteer. Um, this is something that I've heard they were working on in upper management for some time, and and what is that gonna look like?
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
I mean, for right now, until you
Okay.
guys,
So
until the
okay.
okay, all right,
So basically, what we are doing right now is we are looking at all of the relationships that we built over these past 7 years. And we know that there are opportunities for volunteers to come and show support to these businesses. And what we want to do is we want to open up those avenues for communication so that we can have so that we can be more than just what people assume about us, right? As members of Black Lives Matter movement, whatever, or as members of the Black Lives Matter movement, we are normally considered to be just like the people who are on the street yelling. We're waving the flags, we got the signs, we got everything that you need to put together a protest, but we are so much more than that. And we want to invite all of those people who are passionate about pushing the culture forward to have an opportunity to go out into the community and basically, hold each other accountable for lifting each other up. So what we are doing right now is we are starting with the recipients of the Black Lives Matter awards for this past year. And we want to combine members of the CSRN universe with those organizations so that they can work side by side with these companies, because we want to make sure that we're not only giving back to our communities, but we're also supporting the businesses that already exist. So whether you're an adult or if you are a child who is eligible to work in whatever field we have available, we will be looking to hopefully start that this summer, just to make sure that we are not only protesting, but we are also supporting all of the businesses and all of the organizations and all of the opportunities to serve throughout the city of Toledo.
all right. Thank you for sharing that, and that just lets you know that there's so many things that we're working on, and we're just kind of giving you just a heads up of some of the things that you're going to see, regardless if it's some of the initiatives that we're working on, like St. John's, like some of the police profiling that still happens, where some of our young boys are approached by law enforcement recklessly on the streets. This is still happening. We're going to be speaking up about all of those and let you know what can you do to make a difference. So shout out to all of the Black Lives Matter recipients. We're going to continue to support all of those businesses, all of those individuals. Now, we're about time to wrap up. And we don't just wrap up like any other organization or agency with a gavel and say meeting adjourned, bump that. We're on something else. And one of the things that we came up with is 5 minutes of heat. And what this is us utilizing creative expression as your outro. All right. So you'll always leave our meetings not only with a sense of, hey, look, I want to make our community a safe and decent place to live, but also to realize that even the arts has a place in the revolution. And one day I hope to do a one-on-one with you, Jody, about you being an artist, you being creative, and how do you fit into the revolution? All right, I want to do that. I think that'll be an interesting conversation. But we're wrapping up now with 5 minutes of heat. What do you have for us today?
So, with this being National Women's Month and all that's going on, and his brother so eloquently stated all the women in his life that mean something to him, I have a poem for this. It's actually the last poem in my creative text of the last 6 years. called Mom. And truthfully, because of last year and everything like that, I have to put a disclaimer on this piece, because if you have lost somebody, whether they be your mother, father, uncle, cousin, best friend, blood buddy, person you went to war with, this piece will hurt. So let's begin. Peace. Sometimes, yes, sometimes, when I'm just getting up and life is a little bit foggy, I can remember, yes, remember the perfume you wore. If I concentrate hard enough, I can just see, yes, see your face smiling down on me. When the nights are cold and I feel alone, I can just imagine the kisses, yes, kisses you left on my cheek. But I don't, yes, I don't remember your voice anymore. I can't remember how it gave me strength as a child. I've heard so many voices and so many sounds that pierce different parts of me. Even, yes, even if I've only heard them once. It's like a memory I can't hold on to. Those 5 seconds where you're so immersed, and then it's gone before you could even say it out loud. This memory that was so vivid, complex, and just filled with life is now a scattered screen of fragmented pixels, just daring you to find a pattern. Sadly, I've become numb to the outside sources. They just don't fit the pitch, yes, the pitch I'm looking for. And even though I know that sound could never be repeated, I still remember your face, the favorite food you loved, the artist, yes, artist you would blast loudly as you rapidly cleaned the house. I can even remember your nickname for me. But the vibrations, yes, the vibrations in which you spoke escaped me. I still carry a picture. It has never left my side, reminding me that no matter where I go, I will always, yes, always have a piece of you. A recorded piece of history of the woman that gave me life, which I shall keep with me, yes, keep with me until the day that I die. And even when my heart feels like giving up, I can look at my wallet where the most valuable, yes, valuable piece of parchment I own is a picture of you and me. Love you, Mom. Miss you, Mom. It's not poetry. It's the thoughts, yes, the thoughts in my head that I've only shared with the people who cared in peace. And there's something to that. So, since my poetry and what I do is poetry, it's more, as you saw from that last piece, which ends ink truth and all that stuff, it's my life.
Wow, is that a picture of? Oh, that's you and your mom.
All my stuff is truth. It's not just the stage name. Got through that one without crying too. So, love you, Mom. Ooh, happy Women's Month. Happy to all the mothers, whether they be birthed or adopted or surrogated, if that's a word. Remember to hug them tight. You may not be able to tomorrow.
All right, and in customary CSRN fashion, we close out with the Solidarity Pledge. I got a chance to say the Solidarity Pledge last week at the protest because Ruth was gone, so I do what I want to when she ain't around.
Oh, you
Hey,
want the Solidarity Pledge. Okay.
I'm going to say it again. Don't Burger King yourself.
Okay, all right, okay. I don't know what that means, but okay, I will not Burger King myself. All right.
Let me go ahead and close us out. Okay, so we end all of our meetings with the Solidarity Pledge. It is our promise and our pledge, not only to ourselves, but to each other, to continue to fight the good fight until we meet each other again. So please repeat after me. Everyone say,
I,
your name,
Brother Washington,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to love my brothers and my sisters
to love my brothers and my sisters
as I love myself.
as I love myself.
I, say your name,
Brother Washington,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to study to improve myself
to study to improve myself
spiritually,
spiritually,
mentally,
mentally,
morally,
morally,
and physically
and physically,
for the benefit of myself,
for the benefit of myself,
my family,
my family,
and my people.
and my people.
I, say your name,
Brother Washington,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to be a part of the solution,
to be a part of the solution,
the process,
the process,
and not the problem.
and not the problem.
I, say your name,
Brother Washington,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to give all that I can spare
to give all that I can spare
of my time,
of my time,
my strength,
my strength,
and energy
and energy
to achieve
to achieve
the above said.
the above said.
Give yourself a round of
Great
applause.
job, great job, great job.
All right.
Hey, listen, man, great job tonight, everybody. And listen, we can't end without saying, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else? Peace.
Yeah.